Hmm. Race has a pretty bullish looking chart. ABC here's got a nice chart. Morning, Rob. So market pretty benign this morning. Looks like Tesla's our big winner, although it's selling off a little bit. Paycoms, some of these stocks are just looking to get a little bit extended. It's like MongoDB. So there's that trend line. Looks like yesterday had a nice bounce, and today trying to extend over. We'll see if it'll do that. But it's not in a bad area. Try to look at some looking at accumulating some shares. Let's go back down to the actionable list. KGKG bouncing off of a trend line. Etsy doing pretty good this morning. ServiceNow all-time highs almost, getting right there. Twilio. See if it's able to get higher. It's got 2 green days in a row. Let's see if it'll make it 3, which will probably take it out of this range. Oh, sand. There's Ameren. Yesterday was some great news and good accumulation. Look at that volume yesterday on the daily. Huge volume. So see if that'll propel it higher today. Good morning, Eli. Illumina, new highs. Crossing it right there today. It's been wedging up against it past couple of days. Not a ton of volume this morning so far. Only 4 minutes in. But Illumina right there at the breakout point. You're right, Eli. So far, another day of and we got NASDAQ flat, which is better than down. So we'll see how that one rears its ugly head later today. Roku, by the way, if it'll stop bouncing, with a great move yesterday off of that 50-day moving average. Just a big bounce right off of that. Boom. Good volume pocket pivot. And we'll see if that puts in that low for this area. Maybe we'll hang out here for a little bit and then continue higher, hopefully. As Roku jumps all over the place on my chart. Pays yesterday gave up a lot yesterday after it was rallying, almost looking like a tweezer top in terms of the highs. Obviously, the bottom isn't quite the same. It sold off a little bit more, but a little bit of an ominous signal there for Pays. Upland Sherman-Williams. I think we determined this was a cup. It's like 28%, if I remember, or something like that. Yeah, 25%. And then that could be your handle right there. Any of these could be your handle. So it's kind of handled 3 times, if you will. I don't know what IBD says about 3 handles, but I know that I know the rules talk about the weekly and where the handle comes in. It's like the first red week above the half point of this. But this could have taken that torch in which case your buy point's been chopped up many times. So chopped up here, came back down, broke through again, came back down. It didn't quite touch it this time, but it got pretty close. 50-day moving average touch right there for Sherwin-Williams. But this stock looks like it's got earnings coming up to 7/23, so a few weeks. Intuit, still looking good. Sold off a little bit this AM. Still looking just fine. Anik looking pretty good. Chegg getting back to it. EPAM holding pretty tight after that pop-up the other day. And NBEV. I feel like we jumped through a few names here. I don't think we saw Tilray yet, or Tilray. Tilray volume yesterday was lighter than the days before, luckily. Hopefully it'll sustain a low here and find a way to curl out. Looking a little bit, just a little bit, like Tesla. Just a tiny bit in terms of kind of the bull flag. And we know Tesla had earnings. I think it had earnings. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but there's the bull flag. Nice move up this morning. Looks like up about 6%. It's been choppy this morning. It's been up and it's been down. Look at the volume candle. It's huge volume in Tesla. So there's kind of the bull flag. This one's definitely better than that other one, but it's just a bull flag off of lows. What happened with Tesla's earnings? I saw deliveries were higher, record deliveries, but what does that mean? Tesla Model 3 ACES crash test sets new safety technology benchmark. I just thought of something funny. You know what would be hilarious is if Tesla thought you got into a crash, it would do the Cleveland and go, "Oh no." I think that'd be hilarious. That could be the technology benchmark that they set. We'll notify you of a crash. Oh no. Shit. Boom. All right, let's go see what we got here for Tesla as it sells off this morning. Absolutely, it's fine, Eli. Be great. NASDAQ could be worth more too. A 96% in the adult occupant protection category of the Euro NCAP testing. Now they gotta do something else for giggity giggity. What would you do for giggity giggity? Maybe if the camera sees a super hot chick, he goes giggity giggity. Oh, just a whole Family Guy version of the Model 3. Oh, that's great. That'd be awesome. Sees a cop car, Peter says something, or Joe says, yeah, Joe would say something. Sees a cop car, Joe would say something. Yeah. I wonder if autopilot slows down. All right, all those articles are horrible. Tilray down 1.27% after closing a little bit off the lows yesterday. See if it'll sustain here. It's got some support around that 45.79 level, about $1.25 lower. We got Twilio here up 1.6%. Trying to break out. That moving average is screwing with my charts. trying to make it line up over here if I can. Not sure what that shows me, but to see if it's trying to break out. It's tried in the morning every single day, so this doesn't mean a tremendous amount at the moment. This could just be the high of the day, and it could falter from here. You never know. All right, KG up a couple more percent. NASDAQ up a smidge. Better than being down. I mean, we've held that little mini gap. I'm sure it'll fill at some point, scare the crap out of people. That would not be... I'm looking for distribution days. I think that's like the only distribution day that we have. I don't think we have any other stalling days. This is not a stalling day. It's pretty good off of the previous close. Watching paint dry a little bit. Sometimes it's like that. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Amarin 1.8%. All right, going for more new recent highs, getting up to that high right there. This thing looks like it wants to go. I, for one, will welcome our new Amarin overlords. Pretty good volume again this morning. Obviously, yesterday's was better. Yeah, so, no major change in market structure. See what MJ's doing. Not much. Still unable to really fully get over that trend line. NIO taking over Tesla in terms of percentage gains. Looks like breaking over that lower consolidation right there. Kind of a little weird cup. MACD's turned up. Ways away from that middle line though. At least on the MACD. Tesla 6%. Right, still vastly underperforming Bitcoin. This is just stupid. ABC. Oh yeah, this one breaking out. We saw it this morning. It was up here. Looks like it's doing pretty good. Got ABC with really a nothing pattern. Actually, though, would be a 3 weeks tight pattern right here on ABC. However, I'm not sure if that accounts for much, but it's an interesting little breakout out of a consolidation. Not a lot of volume, but that could be interesting there for a trade. Breaking a couple consolidations today, if it can maintain it. Look how choppy this thing is. Look at how deep it. This was a day where it I can't even see. It got about 3%. Came all the way back down for a spike. So pretty choppy. It's not a very thin stock. Average trades of 1.4 million shares a day. So I'm not sure how it gets that choppy, but it does. So looks like a big prior uptrend, this much larger base. And whatever form this takes. It's definitely had support there around the $70 level going back to 2016. And this is in the top 25% of its range. Hard to say it's going to bounce immediately from there, but it's an interesting chart. Amarin up a little bit more. Etsy also up there. Like watching paint dry as long as the screen. Yeah, that's the thing, is that the market's not tanking. So, I mean, we're fine. We're fine. I'm not mad at anything here, really. I'm at the marijuana sector isn't moving very well, but other than that, I could really, it's a good market. Nasdaq's healthy, S&P's at new highs. I mean, what's not to like? Good stuff. Yes, we want things to run, but they run in cycles. Like Tesla's up today, obviously on earnings. We're seeing a couple stocks that just every single day give you 1 to 2%. Those are the things that bore you into massive profits. Huge profits on a lot of those. CDW right there getting in two highs. It's continuing its large run, multi-year run. Starbucks new highs again. And again, we've been talking about Starbucks all the time, just going up a little bit, going up a little bit. Paycom, another one going up a little bit. ServiceNow, just going up a little bit. I can take weeks to make 5%, but if you do 5% a month, that's like 60% a year, not even compounded, just simple math. Not that that number happens. Very rarely does that number happen, but Chegg coming up to an interesting point here. We've had this level here for quite a while since we broke here. We were looking for this as resistance. It became resistance. A big test right there on pretty low volume. Very low volume considering the type of move that had, and then bouncing immediately back through the 50-day. And then now we're right back up with this trend line. F-cell, what's that? Some fuel cell technology. $20-megawatt fuel cell park with Korea. Well, it's got a long way to go. Personally, I'm playing this one to go from 87 cents to $400. That's my strategy. Yeah. Man, look at that yesterday. That's crazy. It's hard to chase these though, man. It's super hard. Oh, this is a NASDAQ stock? How is this a NASDAQ stock? It's under $1. It looks like it's been under $1 for a couple of months now. Oh, 1 month. Maybe it just hasn't. Yeah, it looks like a crypto. Yeah, right, doesn't it? It's exactly like. How many cryptos have you traded like this? You know what this looks like? Tron. This looks a lot like Tron. That massive pump and then just dying on you. We're up 300%, but on the weekly chart, it looks like you barely moved. That's fun. All right, 6-2. We got. It's a Benziga pick. They say nothing about it. I mean, it could be interesting for a gamble. Does it even have options? It does have options. Holy crap. All right, so let's go out here. Let's waste $50 on a $1 call. You got to get to 150, 145 now. It's cheaper. That's good. So you got to get to one. You have to double from here, almost double from here, 80% from here to break even on this trade. That's funny. Well, that's good, Rob. Just close the trade out. Close it out. Be happy with your win. Maybe save a quarter of it. I don't know. Don't get too heavy and stuff like this. I mean, unless you've done it before, unless you've got a strategy around these types of things. Read Jesse Stein's Super Stocks if you want to look for stuff like this. It's not quite. He looks for stocks that go from $1 to $5 up to $25 is kind of what that guy does. Actually, yeah, shoot me an email, Rob. All right, save. Amarin 2.3 continuing a little bit here. He only invested $90. Gotcha. Well, I was just thinking. I thought you went heavy on it because you said it. You made your money back from 3 trades. So I'm like, oh man, that dude went all in on a 87-cent stock. Usually not a good game plan. I mean, but some of the man, some of those can have like this is a well, kind of a good example. I don't know what it looked like a lot way over here before it gapped up huge. Not that anybody was watching this, but yeah, see, it pretty much gapped up at a nothing. There was no pattern here to go off of, but we've seen a couple of like INS. I think was a super stock candidate. We talked about that a while back on this thing going from the single digits and this topping over here at 25. If you guys remember that, we talked about the Jesse Stein super stocks and said 26. Things tend to top out at 26, and this got right up here to 26, and then started consolidating. But you remember we discussed this base breakouts and stuff. So it's like Roku curling in a little bit here. Getting rejected at that resistance level so far. Amarin, however, continuing. And Twilio up 1%. It was up a little more earlier, yeah. Right there again, rejected at that resistance line. Snaps up 2.6. Right there, Snaps up 2.6. Just got some volume in it too. Was doing nothing this morning and then just got a pop here in the past little bit. Tilray right down there towards those lows. It's got a hold there. NIO somehow bouncing more than Tesla is. So NIO option alert, July 19, $3 calls, which are basically just almost at the money right there. We've talked about Starbucks quite. I talk about it as much as I talk about any other stock. It just keeps going up. Put a range on it. Had a little pullback to the 50 a while ago. We talked about it at the 50. Just as much as I talk about any other stock. I wasn't harping on it though, but there's another little consolidation here too. But it's just, this is one of the ones that bores you to death. Yeah, Starbucks is like that. Paycom's like that. That's one that was kind of working pretty good today. You see that one also kind of in just a straight upward trend. There's a few of them like that. Some of them we have on the actionable list that are kind of matches kind of like that, although it's consolidating right now. It's in a bit of a broader uptrend, but it's actually forming a real base here. This is an actual base for Match.com, so not quite the same, but it's only down 13%. This is going to have another leg more than likely. But yeah, there's a few of them that are like that. They're just kind of walking up higher all the time. Winnebago's been loosely like that. It's had its moments where it pulls in, but it's been okay. Intuit recently has been walking up pretty good. Where's the other one? Snap's pretty similar to that. It's in a little consolidation, but it's kind of slowly walking up. Twit holding right up there at that breakout point. Needs more volume. How's Illumina? Illumina's holding above that high. That's pretty encouraging. It's not running though. Really needs some volume to step in. Doesn't have any volume. Atlassian team. Here's another one that's kind of walking up. Obviously not as tight as a Starbucks. Oh, O'Reilly. We saw that yesterday. That's on our global list. I think we looked at this one yesterday too. On the day or the weekly. Yeah, daily. It's been a little choppy here. Yeah, everyone likes their frickin' coffee. Starbucks has a monopoly on the frickin' coffee market. That's probably what's accounting for these tight little bars here. And then maybe it'll have another little extension run here for a few days. Too. I'm not super happy about that one. I like the bounce off the 50-day. Hoping this will lighten up a little bit. Otherwise, it's gonna pull back a lot. Wow. July 26. Amarin 4% now. Look at that going right out there. Figures I took an entry position yesterday. I should have gone heavier. Race is another one of those that's just been popping higher. Did you see this one, Eli? This one we haven't really talked about that much. We've seen Starbucks quite a bit. This one is this one's in Fuego. It's just rocking. I think this is obviously an ADR from Italy. They're probably public in Italy. But this one just huge moves. Oh, what do you have? Domino's with a nice weekly base here. How deep is that? 24%. That's not too bad at all. That's really nice, actually. It's pretty tight. NASDAQ 0.1%. So it's definitely maintaining. That's good. LAD, this is a very large double bottom base, which doesn't qualify because it's massive, 45%, which negates it anyways, but it's just a huge base. Oh, yeah, you're going through the IPO trading cycle of your trading career? Okay. Well, yeah, pray for IPO bounces. Um, yeah, Uber looks like it's towards a level where it could bounce. Everyone goes through that trading IPO cycle. Could become a thing for you if you figure out a rule strategy around it. Like I don't mind IBDs. I actually tried this one. I closed it out because it came back in immediately. It's always IPO year. Nothing. It's always I remember when Google IPO'd. That was huge. Google was a Google was a crazy IPO. Facebook was a crazy IPO. Coming in at market value $200 billion. That was unheard of. I mean, Microsoft entered the market at like 30 million. Facebook was one of the first few that had massive venture capital behind it. Those guys got paid. Maybe they still own theirs. I don't know, but possible. Yeah, Uber could get a bounce if it holds above that trend line. Um, yeah, that's the support line on Uber. You mean this one? That should yeah well it should have been your support line. Yeah, that's right. I entered and then I exited. Um, took a loss, but whatever, it's okay. Yeah, I think I got in before it. I didn't like the look of any of this. I'm like, yeah, this wasn't massively comfortable with the trade to begin with. Anyway, regardless, um, yeah, could have another bounce up into here, but you never know. This one went red for about 5 days, then took a sweet ass time getting up, sweet ass time getting down, and then finally attempting a breakout again. But if you get supported by that trend line, that's good. If it breaks it, then you're back down into no man's land. I was never really happy with the lift chart. This one, you're in a very similar situation in terms of no man's land. This one, I'm more scared of this one than Uber. Uber, you still have semblance of support there with the trend line. Yeah, this one's right on that trend line right there. So you can give that a little bit of space, but I'd say a cut of that 50-day moving average, and you got to be out probably. And crowd, again, another one at support there, 61.58. It bounced off it yesterday. He's got to, yeah, hope at some point it comes up. You have earnings. It's 718. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what these guys do. CrowdStrike, cybersecurity winning streak. I'm not sure if you. I think you mentioned what they do. I don't remember though. Anyway, Rush to Public is that? Okay, article doesn't say much. Anyway, yeah. So you got some support down here. If it breaks that, you got you've got a couple of you're near levels where you're gonna have to exit if it goes much lower. Crowd's already bounced off it. Luckily, Lyft is sitting right on top of it. Unfortunately, so this trade may be over for you sooner than you think. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But I think that 50-day would probably be pretty key for this. This one never really broke out. Actually, just stopped at a resistance point is what it did right there. That horizontal line on my chart just stopped at resistance. That's all it did. And Uber had a failed breakout. We talked about it on the time Uber was the leader, Lyft was the laggard. If you're going to trade a sector, usually trade the leader and don't trade the laggard. Because like this wasn't bad. This is an IPO base. This was an IPO base breakout right there. I'm not mad at this trade. It just didn't work out. I mean, it's a little iffy anyways because Uber's not profitable, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Well, not really funny, but I used to be on that side where I was kind of chasing some stuff and now I'm just kind of sitting back. Feel like the old man of the room. Still do my share of dumb stuff. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, like not chasing the IPOs. You know, chase them if they have an IPO base and they're going to break out on good volume. This one looked pretty good in the moment. Yeah, I'm not mad at this one. Yeah, you could still be. I mean, you're still in it, so that's fine. You're only down 4.5% from there. Like I said, it could bounce back. You got that support line right there. Yeah, took a move until right here. Hopefully that one works out. Twilio 1.43%. This is one of those kind of frozen ropes I bought lower, looking for it to bounce back up, have one of these bounce moves. So far hasn't done it. We'll see if it does it today. Stalled at that same resistance line. 0.13% for the NASDAQ. Amarin 4.5%. Looking pretty good. Good volume again today, this morning. This is, we're probably going to have another nice large move out of Amarin. Hopefully. I mean, it's breaking these highs right here. Was that 23? Get rid of this space. $22.11, $23.14. So we're barely above that prior high. Ooh, oh, NVIDIA. I'm like, that looks like Amarin. That looks great. But low. It's got a little bit of room to go here to this trend line. There's your 50-day moving average on NVIDIA. So if it acts as support, yeah, maybe look for a bounce somewhere. The thing about NVIDIA is it just has not recovered from this. I really don't like that. I really don't like the fact it's just sitting down here. Was up at 300, now it's under 200, and I'm not really feeling that part of NVIDIA. There's no leadership here. I don't like to be in laggards. This is a laggard. AMD's not doing great either. And I'm not saying you buy that one. I don't think you buy any of them. NAO keeps going. Oh, there you go. Nice. Yeah, nice move. I don't know. Maybe it is Tesla in terms of just simple deliveries of interest in, and NAO's got some options. Just interest in electric vehicles. I don't know what else. We didn't see any news. We looked earlier. Not really. Just some options. Where is it? Oh, I did it by. I did it again. There we go. Okay, so it had July 19, $3 calls near the ask. 1,400 at 20 cents versus some weird ass number. So they're looking at July $3 calls. With a bunch right there. 59 is the open interest. 13,000 was your current thing today. I think Amarin's great, Eli. Amarin's fantastic. It's running on some big drug news, if you remember from yesterday. So they got in at 20 cents. So they're already up 50% plus on this option. Actually, they're almost, yeah, they're going to be up. They're going to be double here in a little bit if NIO keeps going. They got that to July, so they're probably know they're taking positions, and so they're buying options ahead of their own purchasing. It would just be my guess. You never know how that's going to work out. But 16 days left on this, and they bought quite a significant amount of that strike price. Also here in the threes, also right here, that's going to be up a ton. Net change is plus 23 cents. It's at 25 cents. Someone made a ish ton of money on $3 calls on the weekly with 2 days left. Imagine that racket. If you can get in front of a stock that has options closing in a couple of days and you can run it and get like quintuple your money on options in a day. Such a good racket. Yeah, this is looking pretty good here too. I like these moves. Those are nice volume days. This is a great volume day. So, I mean, look at that. You can't argue with that volume. That's really good. Ameren close to 6%. Maintaining heavy volume into highs. This is why we never took this off of the actionable list. This is a great pattern. Yeah, maybe Eli. Who cares? Again, who cares why per se? I mean, because you don't know that. You don't know that. This sold off with the market. This sold off in the beginning of October. That's when the market started selling off. Crypto started selling off in 2017. Crypto topped right there. And then Nvidia kept going for 9 months. So I don't think that's necessarily a I mean, yeah, could some of this been crypto related? Absolutely. But you don't think self-driving cars, machine learning, all the stuff that use their chips, you don't think those are a good market share? I mean, they are. Look, someone sold it, a bunch of people sold it to get it down that far, and it just hasn't bounced. We see the market at highs, AMD's at highs. Why isn't Nvidia? So if you want to play the laggard play, it's okay, but I can't. Show me the way to tell when this is going to get back up here. Yeah, I don't have it right now. I got a slightly higher low and a lower high. It's still within a consolidation under the 200-day moving average. There's nothing major to see here, unless you want to hold it for a while. But I mean, this thing had such a huge move. Just in a couple of years, from 2015 going from 26 to 300 in 3 years. That's a huge move. Regardless, it's lagging the market right now. It's just, I'm not interested in it. Yeah. I get the logic behind what you're saying in terms of it owns the market. I completely get it. But the market's not interested in it at this moment in time, so I'm not either. That's kind of how that works. Market doesn't want it. I don't care. I don't care what the fundamentals are. You need to have fundamentals and technicals. You need to have them both. They've both got to be there. Like Ameren, technicals are great. Really love the technicals on this name. The fundamentals are coming. It's a biotech stock. What are you going to do? Keeping the market cycle in mind. Try to. And market cycle's fine. That's the thing right here is the market cycle's fine. But Nvidia's got its own market cycle in mind, and it's not doing great. ABC continuing with its run this morning. Good little breakout. Volume's still not quite there. We need more shares traded. Twilio 2.26%. Oh, breaking the trend finally, for crying out loud. This one bounce play for me at least. Just trying to get up here. Nothing crazy there. Roku lower. Tilray lower, unfortunately. Doesn't look like it wants to get higher. Yeah. T says alts double bottom. When did I say that? Just now or in a power hour? You can't compare Nvidia to AMD. It's like comparing Intel to Dell. Well, I don't know. I don't know all about their business model. Well, tell me who you would compare Nvidia. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that Nvidia is really low, without any major any major uptrend intact. There's no base to buy off of. I mean, technically, it's a dead stock. That's really the end of the. For me, that's the end of the argument. I looked for a few ways to get into it, and I think I even tried to trade a bounce once on it. Probably was a boredom trade for me, to be honest with you. Looks like one of those bump and run reversals. Actually, is what it looks like right there. There's your bump. There's your run. There's your reversal. Maybe that's why I have those two trend lines off, right there off of that. Oh, incel. Well, see, yes, some of those things. Like again, I don't know what's running it. Do you know what's running it? I looked for an article. Incel. It's not. Oh, F cell. Okay. A little bit of typo there. All good. Yeah, I don't mind a trailing stop loss. Absolutely. Yeah, trailing's fine. If you want to do a trailing stop loss, I don't mind that. Sure. Go for it. I'm just saying you get these huge gaps like this, and it's just a crapshoot on whether they continue or fall back down. That's all. I mean, there's good volumes here. There's really good volumes here. 57% a big day on back of what was, I believe, like an 87% day. I don't mind a trailing stop loss at all. It's fine with me. Yeah, just kind of a way to secure some of those profits without just blindly holding it. Match.com 3%. Oh wow, what's it gonna do today? Yeah, ramping volume is good. See, this match looks interesting up here. Look at this. You got this is a beautiful little flat base on Match.com. Consolidation's been very normal, I would say, definitely within ranges. Just nice and flat. 50-day support right there. So this would definitely be a second stage base for Match.com. Definitely buyable. Let's take a look at this a little bit deeper. Let's kind of line up a trade for this. I like this. This isn't bad at all. Techname, market leader. If you're trying to get laid digitally, you're probably paying Match.com for it. Yeah, let's go check Rob. It just depends how much you want to give up. So you've got this low down here. I'm not sure if that's pre-market or after. That's okay. So that's the open low, 75 cents. That puts you down 15% from here. I mean that seems like a pretty good point. I want to give up zero. Absolutely. Well, if they have options, you could try to sell a put or something like that, or you could sell one of these for 30 cents. Yeah, let's just sell this. Just sell this call for 30 cents in 16 days. I mean, if major support, it's just taking what's available to it. So yeah, I guess 76 is probably your best up to try to stay, but I mean, these are always so hard to trade from a technical perspective. You just kind of have to have a feel for the price action. That's really the only way that I've come to understand some of these ones that come up and have big moves like this. You just have to have a feel for the price action. If it's like right now, it looks like it's consolidating. It looks like it's doing okay, but that could quickly change. And if it does, just take profits, man. Don't Mini lesson on reading options. I don't remember. Did we say we were going to do that? I definitely could have said that. Well, let's use match as an example, because that's actually what I was going to do here, is kind of look at it to see, kind of line up a trade. Okay, so this is a good example too, because this is a very traditional IBD thing. The stock I mean, it is up quite a bit. So it is pretty volatile. It's up, 60-something% from the start of 2019 here. And nice consolidation here lately. Your wife might leave you. Yeah, I'm out on Friday, and we won't be back until next Tuesday, and then I'll be here on Wednesday. So actually, yeah, I guess this is my last stream for the stock stuff. Actually, now that I think about it, the market's closed tomorrow. I'll be out Friday, so this is going to be my last stream here. All right, so first thing with options, at least I think you should have some kind of a target in mind. Unless you're just going to sell on some pop arbitrarily. The point is just to not get greedy and take the profit with the option, because you're going to be making between 50 and 150+% on a stock in an extremely short period of time. You don't need to be greedy and go for 500%. So the thing with options is take the profit if it's available, and things are starting to kind of sour for you a little bit. Okay, so with match right here, you can look at, so this one has a base. This one's a nice one. You got a buy point there about 75.38 according to IBD. And so that's what, $15 higher. So that'd be $90. $90 would be my target on this one, because I try to go in 20% spurts. And then the next question is, how fast could it get up there with the option? This can go for any time frame option. So if you look at a weekly chart here, last time this thing broke out, it rallied up pretty decently. So let's call that's your prior base, and this one rallied in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So probably won't quite rally in 6 weeks, but 6 weeks would put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sometime in August, if it does about the same thing, you could go out a little bit further. And so what you're looking at least for me, this is how I do it. There's a million ways to do options. It's one of the more complicated pricing structures in the market, honestly. It's one of the harder things to do. Okay, so 75 are going to 90. You've got strike prices going out until September or August. Now, September strike prices from right now, and keep in mind we haven't broken out yet. This is the breakout point. This is an early breakout point. But from right now, I've got an options calculator that does this math pretty quickly that Eli was very nice enough to put together for me. So just you can do the math yourself in a spreadsheet. It's pretty easy here. Target of 90, Match.com. You take the strike price and you basically take 90 minus the strike price of 75, which is $15, and you get a 213% gain if your entry's 4.8. So that's a pretty impressive number right there. But again, it hasn't broken out yet. That number could easily drop to 150% or less, depending on if and when this breaks out past the 75.28, because keep in mind that's probably going to be like another 6%, 5% higher from where we are right now. So that's going to take some. That's going to deflate that. And what you can do actually, because that's going to be 71. That's going to be $4. So this has $5 strike prices. So you could actually argue that this $75 option would be worth as much as the $70 option would be and give you 175% gain on that at that particular time, if it doesn't reduce the time value at all. Yeah, because what happens is that every day that passes, you lose $4 on this option essentially. Are there bid-ask amounts over the current price? So here's the bid-ask right here. So 4.6, 4.8 on this particular option. So you're probably going to fill pretty close to 4.8, 4.75 maybe. On this one, you're gonna get filled pretty close. I'm not sure what you mean by over the current price. So okay, so current price on this one is 71.79. I can refresh it and it'll refresh the price. I'm sure it's pretty close. 71.25. So dollars over the current price. If you're talking about strike prices, these are called strike prices, and these ones are called out of the money. Basically meaning that there's no inherent value in these options. If the stock stalls today and falls, all of these will be worthless on expiration. That's why they're out of the money. Because what this column means right here is it's a $70 strike price, and this column means that it's $1.52 in the money, which you can see here, $1.52. So this one's $1.52 in the money. Basically what this means is that you're taking a little less risk. The more, it's called intrinsic value. The more intrinsic value you have, the less risk you're taking technically. You could buy this down here, get 60% out of a 20% move. And with intrinsic value of $26, your break-even point here would be $73.10, so it only has to move up a little bit for this one to break even, versus this one has to move up to $79.10 because this one's all premium. There's no built-in value. You're paying for the privilege to own the option to the tune of $4.70. So your stock's got to get to $79.70 for you to even break even, which would be up here. So if you can foresee a move holding up above there, that's kind of one thing. So yeah, there's about a 20-second lag here, Rob. If you're in Slack, if you want to Slack me, that we'll have a bit faster communication. I don't mind walking you through some stuff over there. Where's my... Oh, Slack's right here. So let me know if you want to do that. But yeah, so let me kind of walk you through some of the nomenclature. I mean, some of the terms, if you're confused, maybe look through it over the holiday weekend a little bit and then come back with some more pointed questions about what you don't understand. So the strike price, the option is basically based on the time and the strike price. Okay, cool. But I'll walk through a little tutorial. Options are based on the date of expiration and the strike price. And the expiration date is very significant because you can sell this option at any moment in time, but on 9/20 at the close of business, okay, yeah, you either have to buy or sell this option or it expires worthless. You have to exercise the option, which means you actually like let's say you buy this at 55 and it's above 55. Some brokers will make you buy the stock, so you'll have to buy 100 shares of match at 71. So you have to spend $7,100 at, well, $5,500 because you're buying it at 55. Okay. So that's out of the way. So and then I have the bid and ask. This one hopefully is pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's the same. Every stock has a bid and ask. Every option has a bid and ask. The spreads are just wider. In some cases, much wider, much wider. Here they're not horrible by any stretch. This is pretty manageable in terms of a spread. You're less than 10% of a spread, so that's not too bad. Now, intrinsic value is how deep you are in the money. Okay, so again, 152 here. Notice all of these have 52 at the end. 52, 52, 52, 52, 52, and they're all going up by $5. It's just the intrinsic value of how much you're in the money. So 152, and if I update this again, these will all change to 66 or whatever, 47. So now all these are 47. And then this is the difference between the ask price and this value. Okay, so this is the premium. This is premium. You hear us talk about premium and time value. Premium and time value are kind of the same thing. Oh, why is the bid so much lower than the actual price? So first things first, um, you are buying 100 shares of this. So this 4.7 is actually $470. That part's a little bit confusing and misleading. I don't know why they do it that way, because in the end you kind of round up anyways. They do have smaller options. I forget the term. I don't think they're called minis, but they could be called minis. But they have them where they're 10, so this would be $47. And the reason you're paying so much less is because nothing's guaranteed, and you have an expiration date. Okay. A good way to explain options and kind of the price that they garner is think of a house. Think of a house. If you're renting a house and you go to the owner and say, you know what, you may want to sell this house in 5 years. I may want to buy this house in 5 years. I'm willing to pay you $5,000 for the privilege of buying this house in 5 years for a set price. Okay, so you don't want to take on a tremendous amount of risk for that contract because maybe you want to back out of it. Yeah, 10 to 100. Yeah. I haven't traded any of the 10 lots, to be honest with you. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of how I view this: is you're paying a small amount. You're paying a small amount for the privilege of potentially buying this thing. But we only trade it. We don't ever exercise these. We only basically trade these for the price difference between, like I want this to go to this $90. So I want this to be worth $15. That's what I want this to be worth. So that's what we're doing. We're just betting that this is going to go up, and we have to carry this risk of $470 for it to go up to $1,500. Instead of from 75 to 90, we're going to take 219% out of it instead of 20. That we're basically just going extraordinarily high leverage, and the risk associated with that is at just as high as what you would make. Actually, it's 100. You're taking 100% risk for 200% profit, in a nutshell. So, ideally you don't do 100% risk. I mean, ideally you'll take less risk, because you're going to close it out before it's worth zero on September 20th. Because this will have some time value until, like if you go here, you can look at this one. The same $75 strike price is worth $75. So if you close it out 16 days before it closes, you'll be able to take 70. If the price doesn't move, you'll be able to take $75 out the market, and you'll lose 470. So you're still taking a massive bath, but you get the general picture. You close it out here, you're taking a 50% cut. Yeah, actually less than 50%. You're taking 350 home. You spend 470. You got to play with it for 30 days. Now, the bitch about options is this. So we know September 20th. We know 79 days, and we can go ahead and mark this out on the chart. So I will say one thing about doing this like this is it's just a pretty simple introduction. Obviously, but as long as you understand 920, as long as you understand the general gist of it, then you can kind of extrapolate the rest of it. And as you go through terms and things, you can kind of understand what some of the strategies are. Oh, there you go. Bounce on the MACD, Eli. You should like that. That's a nice one. That's a nice one right there. Bounce right there. Bounce right there. That could be a nice move up. So the bitch about it is obviously it has to move up. The faster it moves up, the more money you'll make because you keep some of that daily. Oh, and the other thing I didn't show you is that this number right here, every single day you lose $4 in this option. Keep in mind you're doing things in terms of hundreds. So this 4 cents is $4. If you notice, the lower the extrinsic value, which is the premium that you're paying, the lower the premium, the lower you are doing that. So 183 here, you're doing 1 cent. 185 here, you're doing $3 here. That's horrible. But yeah, you can look at these numbers, and when you look at it enough of these, you can be like, okay, this is the bid ask is way too wide. I don't want to trade this. It's just too wide. If I get in, it's going to be difficult to get out at a profit. Yep, Eli's, yep, 70% or so of options expire worthless. So there's a lot of that because they could run this and then it could sell off, and if you don't sell in time, you could end up losing money. I've talked to you guys many times about how it just happened to me with where is it at? Another one where I kind of mishandled an option, got a little bit. I wouldn't really call it greed, but I wasn't quick enough in taking a good profit. Where was that? Oh, it was AMD. Was it AMD? No, it was the other one. Starts with a G, I thought. I think I took it off the list yesterday. Anyway, I was up like 96% in my option, and I had two of them. I could have closed one out and gone flat on the trade, and then the other one could have been just gravy profit. Okay. Yeah, the prices are weird, and they do, yeah, they sell them in 100 lots or 10 lots now, I guess is the thing. But I haven't done much of the 10 lots. But yeah. So, I mean, it's really risky, and these jump around a huge amount. So, like, you can look at, let's use Tesla as an example today because it's up quite a bit. Does NI have options? I think we said they do. Um, so here's the thing: when a stock starts to like has a really big day, options are priced in a very specific fashion, and volatility. The more volatile a stock is, the more premium you're going to pay. The more this extrinsic value is going to go up. So this one, this Match.com, which has been in a base recently, I don't know how this is going to work out, so bear with me here. So we can take the extrinsic value of the next strike price out of 470. Well, let's do this. Let's do 7147 divided by 470. I don't know how this math's going to work. Let's just call it, so that's 15. So I don't know what the hell that means. So that's 15% of the price? I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to reference the immediate extrinsic value with the price and show you the difference in volatility amount. There's probably a delta. It's probably one of these deltas. It's probably what it is, like delta, gamma, vega, or theta. It's probably one of these. I don't know though. 71. So there you go, 6%. That's what it is. So you're 6% of the price here. You go to something like Tesla, which has been much more volatile than Match. Arguably, I can't say that's going to be the case. We can look at another one that's much more flat and get that number. So we'll go 920. We'll go the same amount of days out. We'll go one strike price out. 22.9 divided by. So that's 9%. So what was the other one? 6%. So that's 50% more volatility if it's the same. Or you can go to something that's, I don't know what's really flat these days. I don't know what's been super flat. I don't know. Alumina seemed to be pretty flat. Trying to think of something that was flat. Or we go to something that's super volatile. So 2020 divided by 376.96. So that one's 5%. So between Tesla and Illumina, you have basically double the premium from a percentage perspective. That's because Illumina hasn't really had that massive run, this massive whipsaw that Tesla's had. Tesla's just been, and Illumina's been pretty solid this whole year. This big long base that we talked about that is trying to move out of, that's been a pretty solid stock. So you can see there's less time premium built into this one, or not. Yeah, time premium and volatility is much less in Illumina, which, I mean, that looks super. That's awesome right there. Like, because if this goes up 20%, I was actually lining up a trade in this one too. So we can line up yeah, we can go back to Match real quick, and we saw that one. We saw Match was up 212%, which is now 219. Yeah. Yes, it's a little different. I agree with you, but I'm just for comparison. So one thing I like to do is I did this to the reason why we built this calculator is to go to to find the highest strike price. But what I found after a while is that I don't always want to go to the highest strike price. Sometimes I do, but most of the times I don't. And then what I can go to is I can say, okay, I like this break even point, and this is still a really good profit, so I don't need to be super greedy because if this thing never gets to 83 and only gets to 77, there's a $5 difference there. I'm still making 182%. So I can, anyway. So, yeah, with this guy right here. Yeah, so you can see you go from 100% to 200%, and you can pick an intermediate. So let's say we watch that one, and then I have, okay, so I did have an Illumina trade already lined up. And this was going out to January, so I wasn't making as much. My target was 446. And if we do the same thing here on 920, you can see my target's here in the 300 percentile, but obviously that's way out of the money. This color indication here is what is in the money, and white is out of the money. So you can see if I go way out of the money, but it's got to get up to 418 for me to even break even on Illumina on that one. And that's even after it broke out. I mean, it's already broken out, and it's still up 300%. That's how little volatility is built into these options. So if this is able to, so where's this 446? Okay, so there's 446, there's 920. If it can do that, you can make 300% if it can basically sustain this run. So how possible is that? How likely is that? It's not bad, actually. I'm actually not really mad at that trade. I may go. Because again, you don't have to be so greedy. So 446 is 20% above a cup breakout, which is pretty normal. Again, volume's not really there today. But if you're cool with it, if you think it's going to go up, you got 400 here. If you want to be under 400, you can do 200% and at least break even at 395.40. So you'll have a little bit of a profit if it just gets up above 400 and just rallies here from, was this the 375 level to 400? So that's what, like 8%? If it can just hold up above 8%, potentially you can do 200%. And if it gets above 400, you're still in a little bit of a profit, but you have until here for the market to kind of ride things out. So that's kind of how I look at some of these things. And I really, honestly, this is the kind of trade that was my bread and butter. But the breakout's pretty timid here, so I'm a little hesitant on that. But you get these really big percentages as long as it is feasible. Then it can probably be pretty good. And this pattern that it's doing right now is actually not bad. I'm not too mad at this trade at all right now. I may do that. Question is, which one do I? Like I was just telling you, do I want to do 200% at 370 for 395 break even? Do I want to be more aggressive and go for 250%? Do I want to go for 300%? But I mean, for 200% to break even, because see, I could lose all of this money. I could never be in a profitable position in this option. It's highly possible that Illumina reverses. And what's going to happen is, because if I do this one for 200, it has $18. Has a $6 of intrinsic value. I'm more likely to weather a storm here. God damn it, hold on. Anyway, I think you get the picture. So, by kind of not being greedy, you can still make a fantastic profit 200% is great. 300% is great. 200% is great. I'm not going to be mad at either one of them. This one's not bad. I don't mind 200%. I mean, it's not breaking out on tremendous volume, but maybe it'll keep going here. So anyway, that's kind of, I really like to find stocks like this that a 20% move gives me well over 100%. Those are great trades in my opinion. I mean, think about it. If you do this right here, if you go to one of these 100% options, 320, 330, that's not bad. I mean, you're at 385, 383, which is like $5 away. That's a fairly low risk trade to take 100% out of a stock. In terms of risk reward, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, Eli, have a good one, man. I'll see you. I'll see you in a minute. I'll be in the unless you come to the power hour, I'll see you then. Other than that, maybe a week from now. So have a good week, my friend. Have a good 4th. Stay safe out there. All right. Anyways, I think I'm talking myself into this Illumina trade, even though there's no volume behind it. 50 days way down here too. There's a nice early breakout. Missed that one. That's a shame. That had some good volume on it too. NASDAQ, 0.34%. Look at you, buddy. All right, let me take a look around. I got to get out of here. Lumina, Twilio, 2%. Amarin, 4.5%. Tilray Pop came back, thankfully. And Roku looks like it's found a recent bottom here. So, all right. I'm taking that Illumina trade. Screw it. Market's in an uptrend, 300%. I think I'll take that 200% trade. All right, Eli, have a good one. Something else you can do with the options too, Rob, if you're looking at something like this, you need to go out a couple strike prices because unfortunately this one goes from 79 days to 170 days. Sometimes you'll have more strike prices in between. You'll have September, October, November, but unfortunately with this one, they're not doing that. I don't know why, but someone has to underwrite the options. So, but even here, even if you give it out till December, you can see you have a pretty good potential for 84% gain if you want to give it more time. Because again, that's out to that date right there. You can do 100% by giving it more time. You can do so. These are advantageous. I was finding, back in the day, I was finding more of these similar trades. This Illumina is one that I haven't seen in a while. Yeah, we need the 100% level. So that's how I basically trade these. I try to find a target price and I try to find a time frame that makes technical sense, and then if hopefully the market will reward me and stuff. That's kind of how it works out, and it does pretty good. I'm doing good. I'm not killing it, but I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I'm taking profits, making money. I made money on both legs of the market. I kind of botched 2018 a little bit because this is my option strategy was fairly new. I got a little bored, did some stupid stuff. But these last two legs up, I'm doing good. So, but yeah, what's Illumina look like today see that volume is just not showing up. But they may have already gotten some fill down there, so. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Market's looking pretty good, 0.33% going into the holiday weekend. Already eclipsed that high from the G20. So that's not bad at all right there. Yeah, see, it's the Nasdaq's boring me to death. My TQQQ position is already up 20%. Last I looked at it, and it's probably up. Well, it was like 19.9. Like right now, it's probably up 20%. So I think I ended up taking 45% profits out of that prior run. And then I'm up, 19.83% right now. So, I mean, cumulatively there, I think I got a better entry than I did before too. I'm up like 60% just in those TQQQs. So you can You don't have to be options professional to make good money in the markets. I think that TQ strategy is just ridiculous. So, all right, man. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys in a week. It's the last time I'm going to be here for a while. So, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Have a good 4th. And, yeah, I will see you in a week. Have a good day. Bye-bye.